Oscar Thomas places the kicking tee down and will set this game going, as Bradford will kick to OKR in the opening stages of this game. It's game on. Here we go. The next 80 minutes will decide this one from Odsal. OKR then with the ball in hand, bring the ball out to just over their 10-metre line on the first drive of the game. Sean Lunt in there asking questions, looking for runners straight away of his OKR team. Nick Scruton then pinned to the floor, gets up, plays the ball in hand for the OKR team, sees them progress to the 30-metre line, met by a couple of resolute Bradford tacklers, and OKR asking a couple, well, not asking questions, but really just testing this line at this moment in time in the first drive and the first few sets of their possession. The ball will move. That's going to be kicked on the fifth and last. Oscar Thomas lets the ball bounce. Bit of a misunderstanding there between Oscar Thomas and Ethan Ryan, although Ethan Ryan does come up with a ball in hand. Oscar Thomas then moves the ball on the inside to Sam Hallis. Sam Hallis pinned down, waiting for the ball to be played. And then we see Liam Kerr take his first drive of the afternoon. Sam Hallis then trying to get the forward momentum going here at Bradford. That's a bit of a nothing pass over on the far side to Ash Gibson. Ash Gibson goes down, takes a tackle. Sam Hallis still remaining over on that far stand side, on the northern terrace side, with the ball in hand. He's wrapped up quite easily. Bradford sit just around about the 50-metre mark. The kick comes in from Joe Keys. That's a high testing kick. It's taken there by Ryan Shaw. Ryan Shaw then looks to get his team on the front foot, makes his way to the 20-metre line. Mark, views on the first opening sets there?
Well, the opening stanza there is a good one for Bradford because defended well, defending numbers. They've thwarted Hull Kingston Rovers so far. They've got in the faces. The line speed's been good. Just going to watch a little bit of offside from Bradford. You don't know where the referee's going to go with that. Some referees are stricter than others with it, but so far so good for Bradford.
So OKR ball in hand as we see Jake Butler-Fleming attacking the Bradford line. He certainly managed to play that one quite quickly. Sees OKR advance to the 50-metre mark, and the play continues here. Score on the Provident scoreboard, 0-0 in the opening 3 minutes of the game. Bradford tackling well, keeping this OKR defence, keeping this OKR attacking side on the back foot. Danny Addy then puts a kick over the top. The kick goes into the hands of Oscar Thomas. Oscar Thomas will return this kick, makes his way up to the 20-metre line before being tackled, and play continues here at Odsal.
I've seen something I don't like, Peter. Sorry to interrupt you there. The kick through from Danny Addy. Oscar Thomas brought it back. 5 Bradford forwards at this stage of the game walk with arms on the hips, not wanting to hit the ball back at the OKR pack. You're never going to tame an opponent, particularly the forwards, if he thinks you don't want to run at him this early in the game. Come on, lads, you're going to muscle up, beef up, get stuck into him. Are you men, or what are you?
Well, Sam Hallis then throws the ball on the inside to Corey Aston. Corey Aston makes a superb kick, turns this Kieran Moss round there in defence. Kieran Moss certainly having to go back to his own try line, manages to edge his way forward, sits 12 metres away now from that try line, as OKR will now ask the questions. And Mark, rightly as you say, the forward pack of Bradford have certainly got to look a lot more hungrier than what they have shown us so far.
That was a fact. They're walking back with their hands on the hips. In the end of the game, can't be tired yet. You've got to take your turn to bring. All right, you might want to back to bring out defence to help you out. There's nothing wrong with that. You've got to muscle up. You've got to smack your opponent, hit him hard, knock him into the turf, and let him know, because that's what forwards have to do. That's what it's all about. It's not tiddlywinks.
So then we see Sean Lunt throw the ball to Jake Ellis. Jake Ellis keeps the ball alive, manages to get the ball across then to Danny Addy. Danny Addy puts a kick into the Bradford Bulls, deep into the Bradford Bulls half. The ball does manage to find touch. That will be a bit of a relieving set and allow the OKR players to get in some air into the lungs, and also it will allow Bradford to regroup and regather, ready to commence the play once they get the ball back in the scrum. The referee is saying, come on guys, let's speed this up. I know it's warm, I know it's hot, let's certainly get this game underway. But it looks like we could be in for another long half of rugby league game, Mark, at this rate.
Yes, I think so, and it is very, very warm there at pitch level. The clouds interspersed with sunshine and then darkness. One of those muggy hot days, typical of a British summer, and it can't be easy because there's very little air down there at pitch level, very little wind, so the players will have to work hard.
Okay, Mikkel Alaleski then takes a drive from the scrum, and certainly manages to keep Bradford on the front foot, as we see now Bradford with ball in hand, and certainly Sam Alice and Joe Keys looking to organise the runners for Bradford. The ball then comes to, I think that's Corey Aston that's gone down there underneath that tackle, and the play continues here at Bradford. Sorry, it was Joe Keys that went down under that tackle. Bradford kick on the last, fifth and last. Ball finds touch. It's not been a great set from Bradford. We've seen Damien Sirenen take his first drive, and he looked to brush 1 or 2 off mark in that first drive. But at this stage, it's certainly nothing to get excited about.
It isn't. Both teams testing each other out, Pete. It's 0-0. We've had some 5-6 minutes on the clock. It's actually Sunday the 9th of July here at the Odsal Stadium, and great afternoon for rugby league football. OKR at the top of the league, somewhere ahead of everybody else on points, and the Bradford Bulls scrambling and fighting for 2 points, and they need them. Boy, do they need them today. Bit of an arm wrestle so far. I think both sides testing each other out, and Bradford have come to it with a bit of with some gusto, but they've just got to up the ante for me. They're on their own territory, Pete. They've got to take it to Hull Kingston Rovers, because who knows, they might just back down.
Yeah, certainly might. Well, we see OKR forced into touch as the fans over on the northern stand terrace certainly launched the blue balloons to commemorate the tragic passing of Bradley Lowry, the little boy who passed away from his battle with cancer this week.
Yeah, very sad.
And it's nice to see that he's remembered warmly with a big round of applause here at Odsal Stadium. So the score on the Provident scoreboard still reads 0-0. Bradford will have put in at this scrum, and they will look to launch something from this scrum and certainly get themselves going forward here at the earliest opportunity. The referee is still holding time off. To put the packs down, the ball goes in, the ball comes out now, and we see another great run there from Damien Sirenen, who's playing with 10 on his back, and again manages to take the balls up to the 40-metre line with inside the Bull OKR half. That looked a bit of a loose pass. There was a bit of an ooh and a bit of an ah, but Oscar Thomas manages to get away over on the far stand side to James Bentley. James Bentley then manages to pass the ball to Ed Chamberlain. Ed Chamberlain then brought down in a 3-man tackle, as we see Liam Kirk pick up the pace to try and drag the Bulls closer to this try line. They now sit about 6 metres out as Damien Sirenen gets the ball offload, and what a fantastic first try for Bradford. I'm sorry I paused in the commentary there. I was too busy watching what was going on, and I just thought there, where is that ball going? And that sees Bradford score. That to me looked like Liam Kirk.
Well, that was fabulous build-up play there that had Sirenen involved in both pieces of action. He was involved 30 metres out, and he got the ball out. He then tracked the ball over. They go into the hands of Sirenen again. He saw the gap. He charged forward from 10 metres out, and he passed it back into the rampaging Liam Kirk, who was on his right-hand shoulder, who touched the ball down about 15 metres to the right-hand side of the post, and that came from the nous, the determination, the grit of Sirenen.
Well, 9 minutes on the clock then. Provident scoreboard reads Bradford 4, OKR 0. A great forwards try there from Liam Kirk. Certainly good. Something that we've not seen in a while here at Odsal, Mark, where the actual forwards linking well, and what we used to call a bit of a crash ball set, where, you know, you position yourself right, you look for some narrow runners near that line.
Correct.
And you look for the biggest man that you can hit, and he crashes over that line.
That player's got to be the support player, so he's got to be fit, he's got to get there, he's got to think, he's got to follow the ball carrier, and then he's got to look at the gap. And Liam Kirk did all those 3 things, but Sirenen created that, and it's easy to see he's got that little bit of Aussie grizzle, that little bit of Aussie. Oh,
well, the O's and the R's around this Odsal crowd will tell you that Oscar Thomas has struck the post with his first conversion attempt of the day. Normally he's pretty solid, Oscar, with his kicking, so I hope that doesn't shape the mood of the day, because he can be a great kicker on his day, Matt, and certainly worth his value within the team for his kicking alone.
Yes, he is, and it's just a pity that he just needs to work hard and find his best position, and I think that's probably in the outside backs, but playing at full-back because we haven't got one, because Dane Chisholm, who can play there, is injured, and he's been thrust upon him by almost default, but he is a good goal kicker, as you quite rightly say.
Yeah, so play continues then. We see the first strike from Joe Margarin to get us underway here at Odsal Stadium. And then Hull KR, the crowd are calling for this referee now, Scott Michaelis, to certainly get the Hull KR team on side. Bradford still have the ball in hand. Look to move the ball over to now this main stand side. And again, it's Brandon Wilkinson who's now on, who gets the first penalty of the afternoon for Bradford. So Brandon Wilkinson comes on from the subs bench. He manages to get the penalty for holding down. Joe Keys, ball in hand, will kick the ball into touch. The ball finds its way into touch, bang on the halfway line, as Bradford now certainly eager to get things going. So Brandon Wilkinson takes the first drive then of this set. Bradford just over the halfway line. Sam Allison there at acting half. Liam Kirk comes in looking for more work. Bradford just shy of the 40-metre mark. Sam Ellis trying to speed the ball up. Joe Keys, ball in hand, feeds the ball to Damien Sirren, and on a lovely little inside pass, Damien Sirren is met by two Hull KR attackers. The ball continues. Joe Keys feeds James Mendika. James Mendika taken by a bit of a high shot there, but the referee allows the play to go on. Liam Kirk certainly getting through some big work in these early stages. Fifth and last tackle. Bradford sit around 15 metres shy of the OKR line. What will this little kick from Joe Keys result in? That kick then is met by OKR, who managed to take the ball quite easily there, Jake Buckler Fleming, and play now the possession now belongs to OKR. Mark, not a bad set?
A very good set from the Bradford Bulls, and this is more like it. And the frustrating thing is the way the Bradford Bulls have played this last 7 or 8 minutes or so. If they played like that in large periods of games earlier in the season, they perhaps might be on enough points now to not be too worried about where their future is going to be.
So we've had 12 minutes then on the Provident scoreboard. Bradford lead OKR 4-0. Bradford having to get through some tackling in the early stages of this game, as we see OKR now a bit lacking in ideas. That's a very, very shallow kick that is collected by Ed Chamberlain. Ed Chamberlain manages to wrap that ball up, which will see Bradford now start to attack this OKR line. Oscar Thomas opens them legs, manages to get Bradford going just shy of the halfway line. Great little scoop from Oscar Thomas. Then that is repeated by James Bentley, who comes in to help his forward pack out and certainly keep the Bulls on the momentum. John Magrin then. John Magrin takes the ball. Lovely little linking play there from Sam Hallis. John Magrin goes over the 40-metre line. Joe Keys feeds Liam Kirk. Liam Kirk gives the ball back to Joe Keys from a standing still position. Joe Keys shimmies and shammies, but certainly not moving anywhere at this stage as he's wrapped up by the OKR pack there. Little kick over the top, sees Kieran Moss collect. Kieran Moss will I thought that there the Bradford should have pinned him down there. They had certainly 3 defenders there, and he beat all 3 of them, Mark.
Well, they were watching what he was going to do, and you can't do that with somebody as elusive as Kieran Moss. You've really just got to commit yourself, hit him hard in the tackle, and hope that does the trick. If you miss him, you miss him. But you can't track him. You can't let him go even sideways, because he can turn back off one foot onto the other. So,
OKR, ball in hand, as we see Lee Jewett trying to spin away and get OKR on this front foot, and certainly he's looking to get through some work today for them. OKR then just pinned down on the halfway line, and they get their first penalty of the afternoon for holding down in the tackle. So Scott Nicolaus's evening things up, 1 penalty apiece. Sean Lunt just speaking to his troops here. James Ellis balls in hand. Ball in hand will find touch just on the 40-metre line of the Bradford Bulls defence. The referee now stops play as we have a Bradford player injured in back play. OKR water carriers and Bradford water carriers come on. Mark, I'm not too sure what happened there in the back play, but certainly it looks like one of the I don't know who it is, Mark, actually, but it certainly looks like he's taken a one round the chops.
I think he took one round the chops and a little bit of wiping away blood from the. Is it
Sam Alice?
I think it is Sam Alice in the tackle
Sam
there.
Alice, yeah.
Only a small guy, so the bigger tall guys, it's hard to put him down. But that was on the halfway line from Hull Kingston Rovers, that penalty. and they'll tap it and restart it on the 40-metre mark of the Bradford half.
So play continues then here at the Provident Stadium at Odsall. OKR ball in hand, just shy of the 30-metre mark. They'll look to move this ball over to the northern stand terrace side, and they'll look for runners. Sean Lunt then in at acting half. Sean Lunt looking for Scruton, misses Scruton, feeds the ball through to Danny Addy. Danny Addy comes into the link play, and then we see a nice break from Kieran Moss. Kieran Moss is pinned, from Jamie Ellis. Jamie Ellis is pawed down. Then Bradford have a second go at him. The referee's not happy with that. He then pulls and gives OKR another penalty in a commanding position. The referee will bring Bradford back to their own try line and make play start. It's getting a bit scrappy, Mark.
Yeah, it is. It's getting a little bit scrappy, but Bradford holding on there. That, quite frankly, they had to do, because the speed of the Hull Kingston Rovers attack meant that they'd been caught out if they'd let the Hull Kingston Rovers player get up quickly and play the ball.
Well, we see a little error there from OKR, but they still managed to keep possession as they're looking to post their first try of the afternoon over on the far northern Stirrers side. The referee is saying, come on, get back to the Bradford Bulls. Bradford Bulls certainly holding strong in defence. The ball is coughed up. That will be back to one as Bradford players got their hands on it. I think it was Damien Siranen that managed to get his hand into it there, giving possession back to OKR. OKR then to the right hand side of the stick, certainly trying to cross over this line. Jamie Ellis there with the ball in hand will dance and shimmy, trying to get over the line. Sean Lunt in there and acting half. He's prodding, he's looking for runners. Ball goes out to Danny Addy. Danny Addy drops his shoulder, steps off his left, steps back onto his right, and manages to feed Nick Scruton. Nick Scruton held up in the tackle, and play continues here at Odsall. OKR still looking for the first try of the afternoon. They managed then to cross the line. He is held up over on his back, as the referee says. Now, Bradford Bulls look to be dropping down a bit, Mark. We certainly see our energy levels dropping, and certainly a bit slow to get back up off the floor there.
A little bit slow to get back up off the floor surely in the game, but he's very warm out there. But it's the same for both sides, of course. But Hull Kingston Rovers double stacking the attacking line, looking dangerous to me.
Well, Hull KR score for their first points of the afternoon, and again Bradford switch off at crucial times. We saw a massive hit from Damien Siranen come out, and he absolutely poleaxed the OKR kicker. By then it was too late. It left gaps in the Bradford defence. Bradford certainly stood by and watching. I think these teammates were in awe of the big bone crunching hit he put in, but unfortunately they weren't watching what was going on.
Naivety, and then we talked about how do you coach mistakes. One of the reasons why you make mistakes is that naivety. But Hull Kingston Rovers had double stacked the attack. They'd got 3 and 2 at the back, so they'd got runners into gaps at the back, and Bradford were again defending off the back of the heels instead of being up on the toes, instead of moving off the line. You're right, they were watching what Siranen had done instead of getting into the Hull Kingston Rovers face, and it was quite easy. You could see that try coming, and that's what happened. OKR moved it from left to right, and it went along 3 or 4 pair of hands, and they touched it down about 3-4 metres in from the touchline side here on this main stand side, and they evened it up. It's 4 points apiece.
So Jamie Ellis then will look to push OKR further ahead with this conversion. Bradford massed behind the sticks. Certainly the inquest is going on there, and 1 or 2 words being spoken, 1 or 2 fingers being wagged prior to this conversion being taken. OKR just break up from their huddle and looking round. They'll want this ball back and certainly look to get play on the go as quick as they can. As Jamie Ellis then takes his stride back. He's now looking at the ball, lining himself up, just composing himself. 3 steps to the left of the ball. Looks down at the ball, looks up at the sticks. Just takes his stride. Here we go. That one goes, and it is through the uprights to give OKR another 2 points. They now lead on the Provident scoreboard 6 points to 4. We've had 20 minutes on the clock. Mark, again, Bradford switching off at crucial times. Is this going to be where we've seen them capitulate in the past? Errors have come. They've switched off at crucial times. Heads go down. What can they do, Mark, to lift themselves?
Well, you're going to remember we played a very, very good Hull Kingston Rovers side, and on paper, and games Rugby League aren't won on paper, of course, but on paper, a lot more experience than Bradford, a lot more Super League experience. And what that means is that if you switch off at all with players of that experience in the team, they'll kill you, they'll punish you. And that's what Hull Kingston Rovers did. They could see Bradford were daydreaming, not quite shaped up. They need to get some exuberance into the defence, just like they did there by knocking Hull Kingston Rovers. I think that was Aledzki over on the far side of the ground, 10 metres in from the open terrace side, 22 metres out from the try line, putting a big hit on Hull Kingston Rovers' counterpart. And that's what you've got to do. It lifts you when your pals put a hit in like that, and it means that you're going to get the ball back. It's less hard work for you. It lifts you, and Bradford are going to do more of that. You can't defend as well off your. I see Bradford too many times defending off the heels. You've got to get up onto your toes, run out the line, and fight like a demon. It's a tough game. This isn't a soft game. This is a tough game.
Well, Mikel Aleszki come on then and certainly put the biggie in, which will see Bradford given the possession from this scrum. The ball comes out of the scrum, it goes through to Damien Siren, and Damien Siren then feeds Oscar Thomas. Oscar Thomas is brought down in the tackle just on the 20 metre mark. Sam Alice takes the ball, runs towards two OKR defenders. Sean Lunt is one of them, brings Sam Alice down 3 metres shy of the line. What can Bradford do here? Joe Keys tries to sell the dummy. He's never going to score from that side of the and that play, Mark. He's certainly not got the size on him and the strength on him. The referee says he's held up. He will bring play back to the 10 metre line. I thought there they should have given that ball some air.
Of course you should. For every time you try and barge your way over, for every 10 times you try it, you'll only score once. Whereas you hit the ball that way and get the angle runners good, you might score twice out of 10 times or 3 times out of 10 times.
So Sam Alice feeds John Magrin. John Magrin spins, turns, ducks and dives. He's then held up over the line, which will see Bradford come back for a second time to the 10 metre line. Now Sam Alice has organised his troops. He's got the ball moving out to this stand side. Joe Keys feeds Brandon Wilkinson. Brandon Wilkinson is brought down. On ball, Oscar Thomas, a little chip through. That's going nowhere. Justin Carney and Liam Slater will eat that all day, Mark.
Why does a rugby league player kick a ball into traffic like that? There were 5 players around the ball, and Oscar Thomas didn't even drill it into the ground, Pete, so it had bounced. He drilled it upwards off the end of his boot, not off the top end of his boot. That's poor. That's very, very poor football.
Well, that is just all the possession and all the momentum has gone. And now Bradford come up with a penalty for stupid play and no reason whatsoever. Cameron Smith in there giving away the penalty, which will see OKR march further down the field. That's a great kick, finds touch on the 40 metre line. The referee brings all the Bulls players back to him. Play continues, and Sean Lunt ball in hand. Sean Lunt offloads there in the middle of the park, wrapped up by 2 Bradford tacklers. And the ball still remains in OKR's hand. They managed to make their way just over the 50 metre line and now find themselves in the Bradford half. What can OKR do here? Nick Scruton takes a drive. He's met by Damien Siren, and Damien Siren is certainly getting through some work in this first half of the game. That looked a little bit forward. Mikel Aleszki brings in a big tackle with Sam Alice and Brandon Wilkinson there. The ball comes loose. Sam Alice picks up the ball, manages to make a few yards forward there, just sees Bradford advance to the 30 metre line. They will now get a penalty. Mark, it's all getting a bit sloppy.
Yeah, Hull Kingston Rovers, I think, believe they've got this game won, and they've just been a little bit overconfident and they're just not quite doing things right. They were hanging on there as Bradford tried to break away through Sam Alice, and they gave away the silly sloppy penalties. Those Tim Sheens will be livid about that. So they've done the same as Bradford, haven't they? They've marched Bradford back upfield and given it all away, all that possession, all the momentum, all the energy out the tank to a penalty back to Bradford.
Well, great work by Sam Alice, and he's certainly down there now. He is shouting and bawling and certainly saying, come on guys, this is now where we've got to put a marker down. This is where we make claim and we lay stake and we lay siege to this OKR defensive line. Bradford ball in hand then, as we see Corey Aston take the ball to the line. He feeds Sam Alice. Sam Alice scoots away from dummy half. Joe Keys in there now at dummy half, looking for the next runner. He feeds Mikel Aleszki. Mikel Aleszki gets those big legs going, and that blonde locks of his and he's brought down 15 metres shy of the OKR line. It's the 5th and last tackle. Another little nothing kick from Joe Keys will hand the ball back to OKR. That sees Kieran Moss take a run, and the danger again is averted from sloppy kicking play and lack of inventiveness on the last tackle. OKR, ball in hand, sees the ball move across. Kieran Moss in acting a half. He's certainly putting himself about a bit. Sean Land now takes over the marshalling role. That will see Danny Adelink into play. The ball moves to the northern stand terrace side and sits with Ryan Shaw. Ryan Shaw's brought down on the 2 Bradford tackles. Danny Addy then juggles the ball as he moves towards the line. OKR just over the 40 metre mark. In fact, now sit 35 metres away from the Bradford try line. This is the 5th and last. Jamie Ellis puts up a high testing kick. That is taken by Ed Chamberlain. Ed Chamberlain now looks to scoot back on the inside of the field. Another fairly innocuous tackle there will bring him down. Oscar Thomas at acting half. Feeds the ball there. And that again is another really around the chops tackle. Ball, not ball and all, but certainly face and all tackle, Mark, from Hull KR. Yeah,
the referee is allowing that, and that amazes me, because as long as the consistency is there, it doesn't really matter.
Well, Rhys Butterworth now comes onto the park. Rhys going in at acting half. This talented future young prospect will feed Oscar Thomas. Oscar Thomas feeds the ball out. The ball then goes to Corey Aston. Corey Aston kicks. Corey Aston's asking the referee for back to 1. The referee says no, play on. The ball then goes to Justin Carney. Justin Carney ducks and dives, bobs and weaves. Certainly gets the OKR onto the front foot. They now sit just on Klamath, and the referee now gives a penalty in what is becoming a bit of a scrappy do, Mark.
Well, I would substitute Oscar Thomas, because I think Oscar Thomas is becoming a liability for Bradford. His kicking options poor. He's giving penalties away because he's frustrated, because his tackling technique's not quite good enough. And whilst I hate to criticise players, Oscar's good in broken play. Just at this moment in time, I'd substitute and bring somebody else in. It's who you put at full-back. Well,
OKR continue then, ball in hand, as they certainly look to breach this Bradford line again. Lee Jewett making forward yards there will now get his team 5 metres shy of the Bradford line. Sean Lunt ducks and weaves, bobs and dives, and Sean Lunt goes to put the ball down. I thought that the referee was given a try there. Sean Lunt just short of the try line. That sees Mikel Alaleski break up the ball. You can probably hear the crowd in the background as the referee now pings for OKR being offside. That will give Bradford some breathing space. The ball goes to Joe Keys. It's getting all action, and it's getting certainly heated up here, Mark.
It is indeed great stuff, and Hull KR not standing square to play the ball, obviously so, miles offside, not just one player, 2 or 3 players, and the referee didn't do anything about it. But on the second attempt of Hull KR to do it, the crowd let him know, didn't they?
Dickie Davis then takes a drive. Rhys Butterworth goes in at acting half. He will feed James Bentley there. James Bentley will get up and play the ball. Joe Keys ball in hand. Oscar Thomas feeds on this side. James Mendika. James Mendika looking for a little gap in the line. Manages to get Bradford to the 10 metre line. Joe Keys in there again. Brandon Wilkinson takes the drive. The ball comes loose. The referee's going to give a penalty there for a bit of a swinging arm. Bradford will reset, and with the score on the Provident scoreboard standing at Bradford Bulls 14, OKR 6. Could this be the point, Mark, where Bradford gets something to get them back into the game?
Well, they need it. It's actually, yeah, because the Bradford Bulls are trailing OKR by 2 points. 4 to the Bulls, 6 to Hull Kingston Rovers. And Bradford Bulls need something. If they get something now, it would lift the team. And OKR looking a little bit out of sorts, but you know, they're managing to get the scrambling defence right. And what's the referee given there?
Well,
some schmozzle under the post, and OKR, I think, played with that Bradford Bull played, not the ball.
Yeah, from the start of the play, we saw Dickie Davis, or James Davis, take the drive. He looked to spin round and offload in the tackle. Nobody was there, but by then he'd let the ball go. He tried to regather it. He knocked it forward underneath the sticks. The OKR players then pounced on the ball like it was a bar of gold that they'd never seen before, and then possession, advantage and everything else switches to OKR's favour. And now we see a break from Sean Lunt. Sean Lunt feeds Kieran Moss. Kieran Moss is tackled there by Ethan Ryan. Ethan Ryan pinched Kieran Moss down just over the 40 metre line. And that was a good break from OKR to certainly give them advantage. Danny Addy puts the ball over to the northern stand terrace, and Bradford now being asked to defend in earnest, which they're certainly doing. Bradford Bulls now all back within their own half. As we see Sam Alice there comes out, absolutely creams the OKR player there on the 40-metre line. And
that was a try-saving tackle from Ethan Ryan.
It certainly was. It certainly was a try-saving tackle from Ethan Ryan. And again, Sam Alice is shouting and bawling and marshalling these troops and saying, come on, let's get out and let's meet this OKR team. As we see OKR look to ask questions. Kieran Moss is absolutely poleaxed there by Ethan Ryan. Ethan Ryan goes down. Kieran Moss certainly hasn't moved. What an humdinger of a tackle, Mark.
It was. I don't think the referee can do anything about that. I just have a little sneaky feeling he might do. The linesman's coming on. It wasn't dirty. It was just a little bit high from Ethan Ryan trying to stop, but it wasn't malicious at all. And the linesman's going to have a word with the referee. And I think a Bradford player might get penalised. I think it's going to be a penalty to Hull Kingston Rovers. Is it right? Well, it was a bit high, but it wasn't dirty. It didn't actually make a great deal of contact. But I think the fact that Moss went to the ground and stayed down, I think that's going to vindicate the referee making a decision against Bradford.
Well, Ethan Ryan, we know he's not a dirty player in any shape, way or imagination. And what he did there, that looked more of a bit of a head clash as he went into the tackle. Maybe got his positioning slightly wrong, his technique slightly wrong. But certainly a clash there. It's good to see both players now up from getting treatment. Ethan Ryan still looking a little bit groggy. Kieran Moss is walking around. They're going to take Ethan Ryan off the pitch. I think that will be for a concussion check. I also think they're going to take Kieran Moss off for a concussion check as well. Still waiting for the referee's decision as to what he's going to do here. Ethan Ryan looks the groggier of the two as they walk in towards the substitutes bench. The referee still holding up play, waiting for the players to leave the pitch as Ben Kavanagh waits to get the game under play in discussions with Sean Lunt. Sean Lunt is talking and certainly pointing out where they need to go for his attacking side of the in the scheme of things. The referee still holding up play. Play now continues as we see Danny Addy kick the ball up into the sunshine here. Well taken by Oscar Thomas. Managed to outleap everybody there. Comes down on his own 10-metre line. Bradford ball in hand. Need a steady settling set here. As we see Mikel Alueski get those legs going. Bradford now sit 15 metres away from their own try line. James Davis, who knocked on earlier on when Bradford were in a commanding position, manages to get a few extra yards. The tackles are getting a little bit tasty. Reese Butterworth scoops away, manages to make his way to the 40-metre line, then is given a bit of afters from OKR. In the tackle there, Jake Butler-Fleming giving Reese Butterworth a little bit of something for his trouble. Bradford still ball in hand, fifth and last. Joe Keys will kick. That is a fantastic kick that finds touch and will bring OKR back to their 10-metre line. Bradford will ump the error. What a fantastic kick there from Joe Keys to find touch. It was a
fabulous kick. It bounced superbly, half a metre behind the flag or the post there, and that'll push Hull Kingston was right back to the 10-metre mark, make them do all the hard work, walk them back, tire them out that little bit more, and all right, they're going to get possession of Hull Kingston, so Bradford have to defend. It is defending at the right end of the field. They need to force the error now. 4 to the Bulls, 6 to the visitors, and it's a great match, a humdinger of a match. And we've had just about the half hour gone, Pete.
Yeah, we've had just about the half hour gone, Mark, as you say. Bradford trail OKR 6 points to 4 on the Provident scoreboard. You're listening to the Big Game live here on BCB 106.6 FM, brought to you in association with Provident, supporting Bull supporters home and away. Play does continue. The referee has given a penalty to OKR there for holding down in the scrum. OKR ball in hand. Jamie Ellis will kick this ball to this main stand side. We'll find touch. OKR will start the game just shy of the 40-metre mark. Sean Lunt then showing all his gal. Feeds Danny Addy. Danny Addy continues the play on. Now we see Justin Carney bursting tackles like for fun. That is going to be a superb try there for OKR. He absolutely prolapsed 1, 2, 3 Bradford defenders. Mark, how soft was that?
Well, you've got to say that's bittersweet because it's bitter because it's a try against Bradford. A very powerful runner, Justin Carney. But when does a boy become a man? Well, a boy becomes a man as a rugby league player when he knocks his opponent on the floor. 3 of them had a go at him. They're on top of him. He's a human being. You take his legs, he'll go down. If you go over the top with him with the elbow into the back, that'll hurt him. Nobody did that. He scored a try from 45 metres out. Great handling. Started with Sean, little inside pass. Double stack the attack. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Better than Bradford Bulls. Bradford couldn't answer that. And if you can't defend when you've got man on man and 3 of you are on him, then that's what's going to happen. You're going to try and score against you. He is a very powerful runner, very experienced player, but when you're on top of him and you can't take his legs, no excuse for that.
Well, Justin Carney, just to make a point there, has got some of the biggest legs in rugby league that I've ever seen.
Knock down. I'm not going to deny he's very hard to knock down, but what you can do is you can track him on the tram lines, Pete, and push him into touch.
Well, if you don't get yourself into a tackling position where you know you're going to wrap him up and you're going to take him around that midriff and knock the wind out of his sails, then I'm afraid Justin Carney will run through you. He'll actually run and he'll rip a hole through you.
He will.
And he'll go through that gap.
He will. He's got the thighs the size of tree trunks, and he is very. He's very difficult to stop. He's scored against better defences than Bradford are, but there were 3 men on him. They'll have practised in training what he was like, so therefore, getting a little bit technical here, if you can't get the top of his thighs, you're going to get him around the midriff. He's not that big around the midriff, he's not that big around the shoulders. Man and ball tackle, hit him hard. Leg drive, shoulder into the side of underneath the solar plexus and hurt him, because he's a human being, he'll go down without his legs.
Jamie Ellis then strikes the ball and manages to convert the try from Justin Carney. That will put the score on the Provident scoreboard now. Bradford Bulls 4, OKR 14, and it's looking in this first half that Bradford have got it all to do, Mark.
Well, what's disappointed me for Bradford as far as Bradford's concerned, when the 3 quarters have had the ball, the interpassing between the 3 quarters is that slow, you can read it. It's like watching under 15s pass a rugby league ball in a game on a Sunday afternoon. They're not cohesive, they're not double stacking the attack, they're not leading with 2 runners and 2 behind, they're not causing any confusion in the OKR attacking line. And whilst OKR haven't been on top of this, and you're not saying they're way ahead, they're not. There's only 8 points in it, that's all. This can be brought back. So Bradford have tried hard. For once, they've had a bit of beef up front. I'm very impressed with this Sirenen. You might question his fitness a little bit, but once he gets fit, he's a fantastic addition to this side, looking like it so far. But the 3 quarters simply aren't up to this standard that the OKR can play with, and they're not fast enough.
Play continues then here at the Provident Stadium also. We saw a great drive from Ben Cockayne, who's now onto the park. The ball then moved through a couple of sets of hand and a couple of tackles. 5th and last tackle, we'll see OKR put the ball up high. Oscar Thomas collects that, manages to bring the ball back just shy of the 40-metre line. Bradford now ball in hand will certainly look to do something here, and we see James Bentley ball in hand. He's pushing towards the 50-metre line. Damien Sirenen then takes a drive. He manages to get a few extra yards and gets a penalty there, which is great for Bradford. Lee Hewitt certainly pinning him down, and again we see another penalty which should give Bradford a bit of possession, a bit of respite, and certainly put them deep into this OKR half.
Well, they've got to utilise the pressure, Pete, because they've been upon their opponent's try line nearly, and they've been marched back downfield by the error, mistake, or a little bit of nous.
James Davis then takes the ball. Sorry, Mark, for cutting you off there. James Davis has managed to get and bust the first tackle, gets Bradford deep into the OKR line, as we see a lovely pass from Joe Keys to Sam Ellis. Sam Ellis is wrapped up there by some OKR tackling. The referee has stopped play. Is he going to say that was a forward pass, or is he giving a penalty, Mark, to Bradford?
He's giving a penalty to Bradford.
Well, certainly there, Sam Ellis, a head-eye shot. Sam Ellis was taken, He was again, he bust the line, he managed to get through, he found his position, and then what did OKR come and do and give him one for his troubles?
Well, sorry, Pete, I think it's the time that the referee maybe should be speaking to OKR and saying, look, I've warned you about the head-eye tackles now 3 or 4 times, I've penalised you, next person does it's off for 10 minutes.
Rhys Butterworth then manages to feed the ball. Bradford score! What a fantastic inventive play from Rhys Butterworth. He manages to find the try scorer on his outside. The try scorer, I think it was Sam Alice that managed to go in. That then opened the gap. He scoops in to bring Bradford back into this game. Inventive play from Reece Butterworth.
He was, and that's why he deserves to be on the field. He made a few errors last week, but he's a fabulous little player. He's a game little player. And if you're going to beat this Hull Kingston Rovers side, if you can't win it down the central channel, you're going to beat it 10 metres either side of the A and B defenders, where they're a little bit asleep, they're a little bit flat-footed, the forwards are tired, and that's where Bradford are scoring the tries. Superb stuff. Corey Aston,
I stand corrected. Corey Aston. From my commentary position here, the view was a little bit obscured. I do apologise to any of our listeners and anybody watching on Buzz TV later. Corey Aston then takes a try, a great first try for him on his Bradford debut, and that little bit of a spark and that little bit of a drive forward there, certainly got that from Corey Aston. We've seen him do that before in the past, Mark. Certainly when he's played for Featherstone in previous games, he's got stuck in and managed to do that little shimmy and get the try. Oscar Thomas kicks the conversion. So Bradford Bulls claw their way back into this game. The score on the Provident scoreboard will now read Bradford Bulls 10, OKR 12. 2-point game mark on the Provident scoreboard. 3 minutes to go. All to play for. Ball back into Bradford's hands. OKR kick deep. Bradford now will feed the ball. James Davis manages to... 4 tackles there that pin him down 12 metres from his own try line. Holding down in the tackle. The referee saying, come on, get up with it. As we see Michael Alaleski there. Michael Alaleski will get those big legs going. And it certainly looks now, Mark, that Bradford pack has got a little bit of confidence.
Indeed, they need that, and that's what they've got from that try there. Superb stuff. And this man, Sirinen, he knows how to play rugby league football. Great offload from him there. And I've been pleased with the way Corey Aston slotted in. Young Reece Butterworth, a good little rake, giving Sean Lunt a good run for his money. And good stuff from Bradford so far. Okay, just needs to be that little bit harder with the run in the centres, but Sirinen, very, very impressive for me today.
Oscar Thomas then, ball in hand. Feeds Sam Alice.
As is Sam Alice. Sam Alice had a great game as well.
Yeah, Sam Alice certainly putting a marker down at this early stage for another good performance in at the hook and roll. Joe Keys then, fifth and last, puts the ball up high. This will test the OKR player as we see Ben Cockayne take the ball in the sunshine here at Odsall. Just shy of 2 minutes left on the Provident scoreboard, on the Provident clock. The scoreboard stands Bradford Bulls 10, OKR 12. OKR ball in hand will look to get something going here. Sean Lunt looking, asking for runners. He finds that in Jamie Ellis. Jamie Ellis feeds a lovely little ball through to Ben Cockayne. Ben Cockayne feeds Danny Addy. Danny Addy will open his legs. The boos will tell you that try is not greeted by the Bradford faithful who idolised Danny Addy before in the past. Danny Addy then managing to scoop all of 30 metres to put the ball down and give OKR back the advantage, Mark. Well,
this is where Jeff Tuvey loses his temper, because how can you score such a good try, be in control of the football, you hand the ball back to Hull Kingston Rovers, then you drop off tackles, you get marched down the field. It's simply inexperience and switching off, but it's a shame because the Bradford Bulls really trying hard to, but you can't boo that try. That was a great try from Hull Kingston Rovers. Good support play, fast hands. It was good. And Danny Addy was right where he always is, supporting the ball carrier and sprinting in from 30 metres out.
If you look at that try, what you actually saw there, you saw Sean Lunt going there, manages to get the ball to Jamie Ellis. Jamie Ellis looked for who was going to run with him, saw the gap. He actually created his own gap and created a gap for Sean Lunt to step into. He fed Sean Lunt. Sean Lunt on the little run around, then gets the ball back. He's then looking, he gives it back to Jamie Ellis. Jamie Ellis spots Danny Addy from 30 metres out. Danny Addy, opens his legs, and he's not got a great deal of pace now, I wouldn't imagine.
But the gap was there for him, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's all about spotting that gap. We've said it time and time again. You take the ball to the line, as Lunt and Ellis have done on previous occasions in this game. The gaps appear, and you send your supporting runners through.
That's it, Pete. And that, that's the hardest thing to defend against as well, isn't it? It's very difficult to defend against. And Hull Kingston Rovers have done it well, and I applaud them for that. It's sad because the effort that's coming from Bulls is good, but they're not quite clever enough at that yet. That just tells you the level the team are at, and Tuvey's trying to you can see them getting slightly better every week as time goes by. Let's not forget this is the top championship side, and they're going to play in the qualifiers, aren't they?
Yeah.
Whether they're going to go into Super League, Pete, is another matter. But I thought today would be one in the pivots, and it is. It's Ellis, Addy, and and Lunt that are causing all the damage for Hull Kingston Rovers. The pack isn't on top of the Bradford pack. They're not bossing them about, and Surinen's making sure that's not happening. But just that little bit of extra nous around the ruck area. The speed of the play of the ball, I think, quite frankly, is that little bit quicker from Hull Kingston Rovers than it is from Bradford.
Well,
but they're still in this game.
Jamie Ellis converts the try of Danny Addy. That now puts the score on the Provident scoreboard. Bradford Bulls 10, OKR 18. We're just into the final closing stages of this half. Not long left to go then here at the Ulster Stadium. OKR ball in hand. Now get another penalty. Bradford being offside. I make that their 4th penalty of the afternoon so far. So Bradford's 3. They will look to just wind the clock down.
Yes, they will. I think there's about 10 seconds left.
Yeah. There goes a hooder.
Yeah.
Play will continue. Sean Lunt ball in hand. Will look to get something here. Danny Addy feeds Ben Cockayne. Ben Cockayne moves the ball over to the Northern Stand Terrace side. That will see this first half end. Score on the Provident scoreboard, Bradford 10, OKR 18.
And you can shake hands with them. You might not have seen them for 10 years. It's a great camaraderie. The social life's wonderful. And for that alone, then children should be involved in rugby league. And I'm being biased to any sport really, but I'm being biased towards rugby league football. And in a modern day world, a fast moving world where so many things can take kids' eyes off what they're supposed to do, rugby league is one of those great games that focuses you on discipline.
So Jamie Ellis then gets us underway here at Ortal as we start the second half. The ball goes deep. It's collected by James Davis. James Davis manages to get 15 metres away from his own try line on the first drive of this opening set of 6. And Bradford ball in hand will look to move and test and ask a few questions of this OKR defence. Certainly in attack in the first half, Mark. Bradford were certainly the stronger in attack, I felt, and certainly asked questions of this OKR team. And now they've got to do it all again in this second half. One of the questions that I was asked by a fan. Oh, unbelievable. That looked very, very high. The referee has not done anything there. 5th and last tackle. Mikael Aleski got one certainly round his chops. He's shaking his head for that. And then the kick goes away as we see another slightly high tackle there on Corey Aston, but the referee is having none of it. The touch judge must be blind. He needs to go to Specsavers. Mark, that was shocking.
Well, it was. Nothing happened, and the referee was too far away from the play for me as well, but that's another story. But yeah, he's allowed high shots gone. The problem with that is, if that continues on in this game, somebody's going to get a serious injury, which he's not on. The rugby league's a tough game, but there's also a duty of care. There's a balance there somewhere.
OKR, ball in hand, managed to find their way 35 metres short of the Bradford line. Jamie Ellis in there. He's now offloaded to Danny Ellis. Danny Addy then looking for the ball back as we see Maurice Blair looking for support runners. He managed then to turn the ball back onto the inside, but the OKR player Ben Kavanagh knocked on when Danny Addy were calling for it. It would have been another unpopular try. It
would have been unpopular because I thought that the ball receiver was in front of the passer, but it would have been unpopular try if it had been given, but they dropped the ball. So that's justice there for Bradford, and karma, I think the Monday word is for that. But Bradford under the pump that little bit just at this moment in time. They're playing from left to right, Pete, from the Coral stand, defending it, attacking the ruling lane end, and I think they've got a big job on their hands in this second half, Bradford.
Well, Bradford now ball in hand from the scrum on the 10-metre line. Rhys Butterworth looks to make some scooting yards, shows his dancing feet. He's wrapped up by Justin Carney. What a superb little dart there from Rhys Butterworth. That's what's certainly needed around this ruck area. Mikael Aleski then, ball in hand. He will manage to fall just shy of the 40-metre line as Bradford look to punch holes in this OKR defence. OKR certainly a bit slow to get out of the starting blocks. The ball goes back. That's now ball in Oscar Thomas's hands. That was a bit of a sloppy play, sloppy passage in play. Oscar Thomas, the ball goes back. Momentum is lost. Bradford now 35 metres out from their own try line. 5th and last sees Rhys Butterworth put in a little kick. That will turn the OKR defence into attack. That will be Liam Salter there, will bring the ball back. He will fall on the 40-metre line, on his own 40-metre line, as OKR, ball in hand, now will look to set up something. Sean Lunt, Danny Addy in acting half. Danny Addy then offloads. He's looking to get some forward runners from his big pack that he's got here, Ben Kavanagh and Maurice Blair. The ball goes over to the northern stand terrace side. Linkage play quite well. Bradford having to defend. 4 men there in the tackle to bring down Liam Salter. Again, OKR ask questions, bit of a loose pass. That will see Bradford pick up the ball. The referee's gone for knock on. Will he go first knock on there? I'm certainly hoping so, and he will give feed to... Oh, he's gone second. Well, yeah, he's saying the Bradford player knocked on there, Mark. I'm surprised at that. I thought the OKR player knocked on first.
So did I. I was amazed at that decision, but he's right on top of the game where not, and this incident's taking place about 20 metres in from the far stand, open stand side where the dressing rooms are, and about 20 metres upfield from the Bradford try line. So Bradford have got some defending to do now, and going to have to work hard to keep this Hull Kingston Rovers side out.
Opening stages of this second half. The referee stops the play from the scrum, which wasn't fed right from what he's saying. He's brought the play back. Play will now start. He's happy with that one. Sean Lunt will look to set something up here. OKR then over on the far northern terrace side as they look to attack the South Bank Stadium end. Ball in hand. It will be Chris Clarkson that's brought down on the 20-metre line as OKR still looking for the opening score of this half. Nick Scruton is wrapped up in a fantastic tackle by Reece Butterworth, one of the biggest men on the park, taken by one of the littlest men on the park, although OKR still managed to keep the ball. Danny Addy will be held up on his back over the try line. The referee will bring that back to the 10-metre line. Danny Addy then having a bit of a great start to the second half, certainly looking for his second try. Sean Lunt shimmies, goes one way. He will give the ball to Justin Carney. Justin Carney knocks the ball. That would have been a soft try, and certainly a try that wasn't merited. Justin Carney dropping the ball, coming up with the error. That will help Bradford in this instance repel this strong opening stanza from OKR. Score on the Provident scoreboard. Bradford Bulls 10, OKR 18. We see another scrum now. This is the third scrum in succession that we've had where Bradford will now get the put in. Sam Alice just looking, Corey Aston looking, waiting for the referee to give the instruction. We see a push there from OKR. OKR push through the scrum. The referee says that's a knock on. OKR players pat one another on the back. Sean Lunt certainly happy with that endeavour from his charges. Bradford now in a bit of a disarray. Oscar Thomas looking. The referee stopped the clock. Mikhail Oleski and Damien Sirinen come back on in the opening stages of this game. We've had about 8 minutes of the second period gone. Okay, I'll put the ball in. That will see Liam Salter go in for what he thought was going to be a try. The referee says no, that's a forward pass. He will give penalty. He will give scrum head and feed to Bradford. Mark, this is just turning into a bit of an error fest.
Yeah, it is turning into a bit of an error fest. I know it's warm down there. Both sides running some respite from the sun. Very, very warm down there. We've had no water breaks yet, so presumably the referee thinks he's okay. But head and feet to the Bulls now. And of course, this programme brought to you in association with Provident, supporting Bull supporters home and away.
Mikhail Oleski then will look to get Bradford and give Bradford some momentum as he's brought down on the 10-metre line. Corey Aston then takes a drive. He's certainly getting through some work. That's a bit of a naughty tackle there. And the referee quickly in to separate the players, stop them from coming together. That will see a penalty given to Bradford. This is getting a bit sloppy and a bit scrappy. The referee certainly needs to put his mark on things. Bradford with the penalty will see Jokes Keys kick the ball into touch on the northern stand terrace side. James Bentley then will start the play over on that side. He's met by two OKR defenders. Reese Butterworth in there. He will give the ball to Damien Sirenen. Damien Sirenen offloads back to Reese Butterworth. Reese Butterworth dancing, showing a bit of guile, showing the ball in one hand and then cutting back into the line. Great play from Reese Butterworth, certainly having a bit of a wow again. Sam Alice then, that looked a bit forward.
We've got away with that, we'll take that.
We'll take that in the scheme of things. Joe Keys, ball in hand. He will take the ball to the line. He's wrapped up on, my view was obscured by the post. 2 OKR tacklers there. Reese Butterworth again scoops away from acting half, manages to get Bradford just over the 20-metre line. We're about 17 metres shy of the Halifax try line. Joe Keys puts a kick up on the 5th and last tackle. The ball goes high. Kieran Moss is wrapped up. Then is brought down. The Bulls players try to push him behind over the line for a dropout. The referee says no, he's in the field of play. Bradford's defence here has to be big and strong as the cry goes out, come on you Bulls. OKR certainly pinned down here. Justin Carney, ball in hand, will move the ball here to Salter is brought down on this main stand terrace side, does a little run around with Justin Carney. Justin Carney takes the ball. Justin Carney then feeds Salter back. Salter is brought down again on this stand side by the tacklers of James Bentley and Ash Gibson. Danny Addy in the centre of the park feeds Jamie Ellis. Jamie Ellis moves the ball on. That's a bit of juggling. OKR managed to break away. Would this be another score? That looks forward. Danny Addy goes in. The crowd say forward. The referee's having none of it. And that is a try to OKR.
Well, you can hear probably now, Mike, the annoyance, to say the least, of the Bradford faithful. But, you know, that's been coming for a while. And Old Kingston Rovers ripping Bradford apart down the far right-hand side of the ground. And the ball went through several pairs of hands, finally ending up in Danny Addy's hands, who was about 25 metres away from the ball carrier. But what they thought was that was a fan did, and it was a forward pass from the Old Kingston Rovers passer, which I think, Pete, was it Jamie Ellis? But there were several runners around the ball carrier, and Old Kingston Rovers threw the ball over from the right-hand side, over to the left-hand side. Danny Addy was there, and forward pass, and the fans don't like that at all. And that means that the referee was having nothing. He didn't even look. He wasn't interested, and you could see all around the ground that it was forward. But it was great build-up play. But that now takes Old Kingston Rovers further in front, and with the kick to come, they're probably stamping their seal of authority on this game. You've got to say Old Kingston Rovers, although the referee not helping Bradford at all.
The referee definitely not helping Bradford on that occasion. That was a clear forward pass. Unfortunately, we can't do anything about that.
No, it's
I
gone.
thought the referee needed to get a grip of this game, because prior to that play where we saw Danny Addy eventually score, we'd had a set of errors and penalties that certainly hadn't helped the flow of the game. Jamie Ellis strikes that one. That will go through. That will give him another 2 points and another goal this afternoon to push the score now on the Provident scoreboard here at Odsall to Bradford Bulls 10, OKR 24. Bradford in danger of letting this one slip away from them. It's how they can compose themselves.
It is now. Yep.
And how they can certainly get this game and get something back into this game. Sirenen and Mikhail Aleski and Sam Alice have got a bit of graft to do. Sam Alice trying to boil the team up just as the Oscar Thomas gets the play back underway here.
Forgetting the forward pass though, Pete, what I was impressed with, that when the ball carrier broke away, Old Kingston Rovers had 3 and 4 men around him charging at pace onto the ball. That's the difference between the two sides.
Yeah, the support play
has
there
been fantastic, hasn't it?
Yeah, they're not running in ones.
No,
they're
running 2s and 3s and 4s.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I'll pick up a penalty. That will see Jamie Ellis kick the ball into touch on the 40-metre mark. Danny Addy will get play underway. Sean Lunt then crabs across the field, looking to drop that shoulder. Manages to get just shy of the halfway line. He's brought down by Kirk and Butterworth. Play continues. The referee will now give another penalty to OKR. Sam Alice certainly going now and having words with the referee and saying what was wrong with that. The referee pointing and saying go away, I'm having none of it. Liam Kirk goes back into back play. Sam Ellis is talking to the referee. He's asking for a bit of direction here, Mark, which I can't blame him for, really, because if he's confused, then...
it's the problem you've got now, Pete, is he's let it go on too long, and it is causing confusion. When players are confused, they take the laws of the game into their own hands, sadly.
Jamie Lunt kicks the ball into touch. The ball will find touch on the 20-metre line. That will see play recommence. OKR then have another set of 6. Kieran Moss takes the first drive and goes down in the tackle. OKR sit 8 metres away on the second tackle here, holding down their referee saying, come on, get up, let's play this. Jamie Ellis feeds the ball.
Unbelievable.
That will see OKR score another try in this second half, and that was, as Mark says, oh so easy.
Well, that was capitulation defensively, and it's not something as a coach you feel very proud of, and what you've got there is the difference is quite simply the speed. It's the speed of the thinking, it's the speed of the play of the ball, it's the speed of running into the gap, and when you're defending on your feet because your mindset's not quite right and you're not as enthusiastic as you should be, you can't stand back against it. All you can do is move off the line, get into the face. If you don't do that, they penalise you. That was like a training ground move. It was one it out. It was a ball runner, coming in from 20 metres out, crashed onto the ball. Bradford didn't even attempt to try and tackle him. And I think now we might have a difficult day at the office. And, far too good for us, far too quick, far too fast, far too slick with the ball in hand.
Ben Kavanagh then scores a try.
Very sad to have to commentate on that. I never thought I'd see the day where I'd commentate on Bradford Bulls teams that were playing like this, but we are, and that's it. And that's where the hard work now starts, because they've got to defend, they've got to get into Hull Kingston Road Frizzy. Not being helped by the referee. I think some of the penalty decisions have marched Bradford back downfield, been harsh, but you can't help but admire the speed of the support play of Hull Kingston Rovers.
Well, OKR certainly showing the guile and the support play that's needed.
In fact, I'd even go so fast. Sorry, Pete. I'd even go so fast to say, in the qualifiers which they'll be in, they will beat Lee playing like that, and they might even beat Widnes as well.
I would definitely on this performance, yes, certainly of the second half, say that OKR would beat Lee.
Yeah, they would beat Lee.
And
they'll be
Widnes.
quicker and faster and slicker. Yeah. No, it's a good performance from them, and Bradford really are just not up to that level yet, and it'll take some time before they are. But just so easy, they're just shooting from dummy half. Ellis, Lunt, Addy as support play, Kavanagh, they just run into the gaps at pace.
Well, play continues then here at Odsal. This game is in danger of slipping away from the Bradford Bulls.
Well, it's now 10 points to the Bulls, 30 to the visitors, and with 26 minutes left on the clock. And of course, this game, as always, brought to you by Provident, supporting Bull supporters home and away.
Jamie Ellis converting the goal from Ben Kavanagh's try. OKR ball in hand. Mitch Clark takes a nice drive. He's out on the park. That will see Oscar Thomas scooting back. Oscar Thomas was hoping that was going to go dead. It hasn't. So now he finds himself having to pick that up and attack the OKR defenders, who managed to bring him down on his own 10-metre line. Momentum lost there. I think Oscar Thomas was hoping that was going to go dead, and it didn't. Bradford have the ball then, moving the ball over on the northern terrace side. The OKR players certainly not getting back with the referee. The referee is looking left and right. These fans in front of us in the main stand are saying, get the man on side. Back to one. Reese Butterworth picks up the ball. Referee says continue. Oscar Thomas makes his way over the 40-metre mark. That again was head high. Reese Butterworth then in at acting half. Feeds this ball. James Bentley. James Bentley will drop his shoulder, look to go through that. He's met by Danny Addy, and Danny Addy pins him down with Nick Scruton. James Bentley. Joe Keys. Lovely little break up there from the centre of the park from Liam Kirk, managing to offload to Joe Keys. Joe Keys spotted the gap. Corey Aston then manages to feed Sam Ellis on this outside. Bradford looking to get a field position. Oscar Thomas continues to play over on the northern terrace side. That's the fourth tackle. Okay, are back in defence. What will be here? We will see Bradford through John Magrin. Then John Magrin back on the park. Takes the ball towards the stick. Fifth and last tackle. Bradford lacking a few ideas there. What will it be on the last play? Little kick through. That will see Justin Carney take the ball. He spills the ball beyond his own line. That will give Bradford the opportunity to claim a dropout. Sean Lunt knocking the ball there. Justin Carney there, certainly coming up with an error and a bit of a missed pass there, Mark, when he thought that he could get away.
Well, you check it Hawkins and Rovers, you know, they don't look good, do they? It's when you stand back and not defend properly when they look good in attack. In defence, when you tick it to the forwards and you hurry them and push them and cajole and get into the face, they make mistakes like they've done there. They're going to have to drop out to the Bradford Bulls now. But it's when you defend off flat-footedly, you give them too much room, you let them spray the ball out wide. The Rakes have done the damage today, and it's not over yet. 20 points is retrievable. I don't think the Bulls are going to do it. I think they're going to really work hard to get back into this game. But you know, it just shows you when Hull Kingston Rovers have been pushed and you've got into the faces that they haven't been as good as they have in previous games.
You're listening to the Big Match live on BCB 106.6 FM, the home of live sport in Bradford, brought to you in association with Provident, supporting Bull supporters home and away. As we see play continue, the dropout then from OKR ebbs its way just over the 30-metre line. That will be collected by James Bentley. James Bentley is wrapped up. Fist are going. This is going to get naughty. This has been coming, and this is purely down to the referee not stamping his authority on it and cutting this out straight away. Danny Addy in there, certainly throwing a few punches as he went in on James Bentley. And this, Mark, I'm sad to say it, but this is what this has been brewing.
Well, it has. It's been weak refereeing by he's not stamped his authority on this game, and Lee Jewett was involved there, I think, and I think he needs 10 minutes in the sin bin. Personally, I saw Lee Jewett with that eye tackle. I think Scroop was in there as well. Scroop's not known for being a dirty player normally, or he's a forward. I think Lee Jewett's more robust than he is, but Lee Jewett's they've got a let off. They've just been penalised. And when you lead in by 20 points and all you get is a penalty for putting in a head-eye shot, you'll do it again, won't you?
You certainly will. John Magrin then looks to get some momentum, manages to fall on the first tackle there. Bradford now sit 8 shy of the Hull KR try line. The ball moves to the Northern Stirrer side. Quick and sees that go through. Could this be a score over on the Northern Stirrer side? Hull KR muscle up there. They managed to knock Ed Chamberlain into touch. That was quick hands. That saw the gap appear over on that Northern Stirrer side. Again, Hull KR muscle up in numbers. Knock Bradford into touch. Momentum gone. We go back now. Hull KR, as we said in the opening gambits, Mark, when you take it to them, and we saw this at the Summer Bash, and I've seen it when they played Toulouse, and I saw it when they played London, that if you put Hull KR on their back foot and you take the ball to them, then they seem to be lacking. Yeah,
it nullifies their offensive threat, and you're absolutely right. And if Bradford Bulls had done that more today, then the score would be as it is. But unfortunately, they're going to get the ball back here. Hull Kingston Rovers from the scrum, and Bradford have to defend again. And 22 minutes left on the clock, 10 to the Bulls. You just joined us, 30 to Hull Kingston Rovers, the visitors. And the Bradford Bulls game today in the play, but the difference in the support play and the speed of the play of the ball, just that little bit too much for them. But another 22 minutes to go, who knows what can happen.
Well, in recent games, Bradford have been stronger in the last 15 minutes of the game than what they have throughout the course of the game. Indeed. So, my reckoning, I'm thinking, well, are we going to see this repeat itself?
Well, let's hope so. Let's hope so. The ironic cheers there came from the crowd was for a penalty, a rare penalty for Bradford against Hull Kingston Rovers. On about the, not exactly, on the 20 metre mark, 10 metres in from the open terrace side, and obviously Hull Kingston Rovers dropped the ball there, I think, and the referee saw it. So,
well, prior to that we had a scrum. OKR put the feed in. The referee wasn't happy with the feed. He then set the re-scrum. The re-scrum occurred. OKR then had possession. They come up then with the knock-on. That will give Bradford the put-in at this scrum. Bradford ball in hand, attacking the Ruley Lane end of the ground. Reece Butterworth ball in hand will feed Liam Kirk. Bradford managed to just fall inside the OKR 10 metre, well, just about 9 metres shy of the try line, as Bradford will go to that northern terrace side again. Oscar Thomas drops his shoulder, created the gap, saw the gap, wasn't able to push himself through there and into the gap to score. Liam Kirk, now with ball in hand, he will go towards the try line. He'll fall the referee says he's held up shy of the try line. That will see the ball go back to the 10-metre line. He will play the ball, and Rhys Butterworth, ball in hand, will feed Joe Keys. Joe Keys will push the ball through another set of hands. That will end up with James Davies being tackled on the 5th and last. This ball now certainly needs to go high. Will it go high? Corey Austin sticks it on the ground. That, to me, was a total wrong play, Mark. That ball should have gone up in the air.
It was a wrong option. It's a rush of young blood to a young head, and when you're trailing by 20 points, you're going to make the right decisions at the right time, especially when your opponent's 20-metre red zone at the other end. And that's just the difference. The experience, the level they're playing at week in, week out. Hull Kingston, well, it's the same level as the Bradford Bulls. What I mean is the players they're playing at with week in, week out. They've got some good players there, Hull Kingston Rovers. They're a Super League side, all but in the Championship.
Sean Lunt then keeps the ball alive. OKR will kick on the 5th and last tackle. That will turn Bradford round. That's travelling all the way back. Oscar Thomas going back then to a metre shy of his own try line. He will pass the ball on the first tackle. That will see a great run there from Ed Chamberlain. Ed Chamberlain clearing the line, managing to get to his own 40-metre line. That will put Bradford on the front foot. Another quick play of the ball sees Brandon Wilkinson manage to get the Bulls into the OKR half. Oscar Thomas takes a little drive to relieve the pressure off his forward pack. Sam Alice, Rhys Butterworth and Corey Aston organising the troops. Corey Aston then feeds Sam Alice with a lovely little inside pass. Sam Alice is pinned down by 3 OKR defenders. Mitch Clark in there, one of them. Corey Aston looking for runners, dancing, twisting and turning, can't break the line. 5th and last tackle. What can Bradford do here? Joe Keys puts up a kick into the air. The ball's knocked backwards by OKR. That will be attack nullified. Change over, says the referee on the last tackle. And again, Mark lacking in errors when it comes to the crucial punch, lacking the killer punch. Lacking
the killer punch, unfortunately, and again, that's experience, and that will come with time as they play together. Different combinations week in, week out. Over 40 players now used in all the games this season. That makes it so difficult to create the right effective play at the right time.
OKR get something going here. Danny Addy now in acting half as OKR sit on the 40-metre line. Maurice Blair taking the drive, feeding Danny Addy. Danny Addy then feeding Mitch Clark. Mitch Clark is tackled down. Play continues here at Odsall. Just over 17 minutes left on the Provident clock. Scoreboard still stands at Bradford 10, OKR 30. OKR kicking to touch. Oscar Thomas lets that bounce before it eventually finds touch. The referee just checking with his touch judge there. This will be a scrum down, head and feed to Bradford. All the players, Mark, slow to get back here. The referee's not stopped the clock, and I can't believe that he's not doing something about this, because the players are just wandering around as if it's a lovely summer's day, and you would think they were on the beach there, Mark.
Well, yes, and Hull Kingston Rovers don't have to rush because they're in the lead. Bradford Bulls do, but they're tired. I think they're just lacking a bit of a leader now. Somebody just to say, come on, this is the plan, this is what we're going to do for the last 17 minutes, and this is how we're going to do it. And because of that, then you've got this little bit of a lacklustre sort of situation. But the referee should hurry them along and get them back into the scrum and get them. It is warm out there, very, very warm.
Play continues then. We saw the scrum. The scrum went down, the ball went in. Rhys Butterworth fed Oscar Thomas. Oscar Thomas then tackled. He played the ball. And now Bradford get a penalty. Rhys Butterworth ball in hand. He's had a great game as Rhys Butterworth whilst he's been on the park. Joe Keys kicks the ball over on the northern terrace side. That will see Bradford commence play bang on the halfway line. Bradford now looking to get some momentum. Damien Suranen takes the first drive from this restart. He's certainly not let himself down. And Bradford again sit in the middle of the park looking to see where they can find a chink in this OKR armour. James Bentley ball in hand, met by Mitch Clark and Maurice Blair there. Sorry, Danny Addy and Maurice Blair. As Rhys Butterworth gives the ball to Liam Kurt. Liam Kurt will get those big legs of his moving. Still managing to go forward. Bradford sit 15 metres out. Rhys Butterworth then dropping the shoulder. He's taken by Danny Addy. The referee has let that go. And to be honest, Mark, as a ref, the touch judge has come on.
The touch judge has come on now. I think he's seen something.
That was absolutely disgusting from Danny Addy. And if that goes unpunished, Mark, there's something seriously wrong with the referee of this game.
Well, the problem is the referee's not been consistent all game. He's been a little bit weak on things like that. In a different game, it could have been a little bit more of a free-for-all on several occasions. It hasn't been. He's not going to send anybody off, that is for sure. There's going to be no 10 minutes. There's not even a team warning as far as I can see. Just a penalty to Bradford. Well,
he's not even spoken to Danny Addy there.
No.
So, and he's not even put it on report. I hope that the Rugby League look at this game, Mark, and when they do their review, and certainly speak to Danny Addy or cite Danny Addy for what there was certainly not merited on Rhys Butterworth when he got the kick away. Rhys Butterworth then, ball in hand, feeds Liam Kirk. Is Liam Kirk over the line? He's held a metre short. He must be centimetres short there, Mark, as play continues. James Davis, ball in hand. Bit of a sloppy pass. He's wrapped up. The ground is lost. We now sit 9 metres from the OKR try line. Rhys Butterworth in there again. Feeds Corey Aston. Corey Aston, Joe Keys. Joe Keys drops the ball. That will be ball to OKR. Momentum lost. Everything again, Mark. And a simple error just knocks all the momentum and all the hard work, and it's gone and it's for nothing.
Well, the shape and structure wasn't there from Bradford. There was nothing, nobody called anything, there was nothing on. So when your shape and structure goes, you tend to bunch and the ball tends to go to the ground if you're not careful. You're going to be structured and know what you're doing from 10 metres out or 20 metres. Well, you have all over the field, but there's nothing there, and a little bit flat from the Bradford three-quarters.
Mitch Clark, ball in hand for OKR. He will take the drive. He's brought down just shy of the 30-metre line. Sean Lunt in there. He will feed Jamie Ellis. Jamie Ellis puts in a kick. That ricochets off the back of Rhys Butterworth. The referee says back to 1. That then was a forward pass. He then calls play back. I thought he was going to let the first forward pass go. Bit of an error strewn half again, Mark, and certainly the weather conditions are right. You know, the pitch is perfect. The crowd in here, a large crowd in here, and
behind the Bulls as well.
Behind the Bulls, and you know, we're seeing error after error. It's not been flowing play, and like you've said before, this is a results-driven. It's an entertainment industry that they're in.
Yeah,
you know, people have paid their hard money today, Mark.
Well, the thing with the Bulls is that they're not quite there, and that the organisational capability from the pivots is not there, and you know, whether Corey Aston can make that difference once he's been here for quite some time, I don't know, but Keys and Corey not quite hit it today, hit it off, whereas you know, Ellis and his co-op have done, and that's Danny Addy, of course, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they have done, and there'll be nothing special, but they've had the runners off their passes, and that's what's got them the tries, really. Not a massive amount to really. Bradford haven't looked out the depth. They've just like to pass that bit slower, think that little bit slower, and react that little bit slower. It's been the speed of the play from Bradford that's not been up to the mark, and that's why Hull Kingston Rovers have done everything a little bit quicker and done it a little bit more precisely, and that's why they win the game.
Rhys Butterworth then looks to get something going over on the northern stand terrace side. Bradford will kick on the 5th and last tackle. The ball will go up high. This will be a bit of a tester. Now the referee is going to give a penalty. Justin Carney there, old man in the referee, taps taps Brandon Wilkinson on the head as if to say, old man, you there, kid, fooled you. And the referee gives the penalty to OKR for, again, was it an error, was it a misjudgment? Certainly not. I think there's an old man contrick gone on there, Mark.
Well, you know, today when they get back in the sheds at full time, what Jeff Toolby will say, you've seen the side at the top of this division, the best side, because they're ahead by a long way. Andrew Edison's London have something to say about that, and you've lost because you've not been as smart as they have. So let's start being as smart as our opponents, and then we'll start winning games.
OKR get the game back underway through Salter. Salter feeds Addy. Addy dances round, manages to offload to Mitch Clark. Mitch Clark goes down in the under 3 tackles there. OKR looking the livelier here now as they manage to claw their way into the Bradford half. They now sit 40 metres away from the Bradford try line. As play continues, Robert Mulhern takes a drive. He falls just short of the 30-metre line. OKR looking to get something going here. Kieran Moss chimes in and manages to get a few more yards over on the Northern Stand Terrace side. This will see Sean Lunt put the ball in hand. Danny Addy bursts the line, drops a tackle, twists and turns. Danny Addy will score his hat-trick try of the afternoon to the huge, support from OKR. There's the OKR supporters cheering that one. The Bulls supporters are quiet and the terraces are starting to empty, Mark. This is a sad sight. Bradford, 10 minutes on the clock and the game's gone. But we're certainly not seeing any of the endeavour or the spirit or the effort that we've seen in the previous games we've covered, Mark.
Well, Bradford are going to sleep a little bit, but that was great into passing there from the OKR three-quarters. And Addy, whatever you think about him, and he's not a standoff half, but that actually tells you something, because Danny Addy is not a standoff half. He scored 3 tries today, and he's been effective. How good are our standoff halves then? And how good are our half-backs? That's a question for somebody else to answer, not for me. That's the question I'm posing. Danny Addy just went onto a pass there down the central channel. At pace, he saw the gap. Bradford went at home. Shirt grabbing again instead of leg tackling. And it's men and boys, really. That's the difference. The boys have been beaten by the men. And until we slow that down and stop that, and we get better and grow up and get better players in, we've got more defeats to come. Very, very sadly. That's how it is. But Danny Addy's clever enough and old and wise enough. It's sad that he's a former Bradford player left here. But as I say, he's been better, quicker at reading the game than the Bradford halves have.
Well, Jamie Ellis then will look to kick this one to push this OKR, top of the table OKR performance, and give it an extra 2 points. That now sees a score on the Provident scoreboard of Bradford Bulls 10, OKR 36. A bit of a harsh lesson is being handed out to some of these younger players within this Bradford side, and it's sad, but the team need a lift. And Sam Alice for all his effort and his guile, and Reece Butterworth for all his effort and endeavours. The rest of the team just don't seem to respond in, Mark.
No, in the second half it's not been a good performance from Bradford. They've not risen the game, and I think this game's beyond them. But although Bradford kicked off there and OKR let it bounce out on the full, it shows they're not invincible, and there'll be a drop out from them. But that last try there, really, the breakaway player did all the work for Kingston Rovers, didn't he? I think it was Jamie Ellis.
Yeah.
And Addy was there on the left-hand side, and it seems that when Hull Kingston Rovers break away, they don't even have to look for each other; just know they're there. And the pass goes, it's a breadbasket, and they're in at pace into the gap. And that's something that Bradford don't have because of all the changes and different combinations, etc., etc. So let's be fair to Bradford. Very difficult for them to come with a top performance against a side like Hull Kingston Rovers.
Okay, play continues then. So a drop out there. Should have seen Bradford get the possession back. OKR go for the short kick. That sees them get possession back from Slater. Slater now feeds Carney. Carney gives Aston one for his troubles. Mitch Clark in the centre of the park will look to get something going here. That will see OKR get a penalty, and Maurice Blair, not Maurice Blair, Lee Jewett. I'm getting all my players and my numbers mixed up, Mark. My glasses are a bit steamed up. I'm getting excited in the warm sunshine here. This has been a bit of a scrappy do. We will see Maurice Blair get the play underway. Then we'll see excuse me. Then we'll see Mitch Clark take a drive that will see OKR embedded 30 metres shy of the Bradford Bulls try line as they look to improve on the 36 points that they've already scored so far today. We've got just over 7 minutes left on the clock. That will see an error from OKR, a forward pass. That will relieve the pressure a little bit on Bradford, but Bradford's certainly been out of all sorts, Mark.
Yes, just an interesting question, Pete. If the 7 ex-Bradford players that are playing for Hull Kingston Rovers today were in the Bradford side, what would the result be? Well, that's hypothetical to a certain extent, isn't it? Because they're not. But it just shows you where the difference is, and it's just experience, that's all, and knowledge and guile, and players that have been around the track at a slightly higher level. And we all know the reasons why we're not at that level, because of the financial situation we were in. And of course, no more points today, Pete, so we're going to still be on naught. We don't know how the other results have gone yet. We'll try and bring those later on. But I would think now the task of staying in this league is going to be somewhat difficult, to say the least.
Well, it is going to depend on how other results have gone today, Mark, as you say, which we will bring you at the end of this one. Bradford now in possession, as we see Brandon Wilkinson try to make a little break. He's wrapped up the crowd asking for a penalty there. Justin Carney then picks out Corey Aston. He wraps Corey Aston up on this open stand side. Reese Butterworth in at acting half. The referee says Bradford knock on in the tackle. Bradford certainly now, for whatever reason, not gelling as a unit. We've seen the crowds leave in the masses here, Mark, and it's a bit of a disappointment. It's all ending slightly wrong. It's a bit of a dejected team that we're looking at down there at Bradford. Although it pains me to say, I never thought that I'd say, I've seen a Bradford Bulls team look dejected.
No, it's difficult. It is very difficult. And Gary Ord was right. He said he thought it'd be a big gap, the score, and it has been. Although in modern rugby league football, the momentum can soon tip towards your opponents when you're not doing things quite right, and it doesn't take long for them to pull away from you.
So Justin Carney then, ball in hand. He looks to break the Bradford defence. He met by James Davis and James Clare. As we will see, OKR go in for another try. Robert Mulhern splits the pack. That was Jamie Ellis again looking for the gap. Manages to find the gap. Puts his runner clearly through the gap. Robert Mulhern goes in for a try mark, and well worked. This is why OKR are top of the league.
Yes, exactly.
And you can see the gulfing difference, Mark. And I never thought I'd say this in the Championship, but there is a massive gulfing difference between
Absolutely.
that OKR team and this Bradford.
Absolutely unbelievable. It's like watching a master tradesman and an apprentice. It's absolutely unbelievable. And all that came from the broke away. Corey Aston managed to bring the OKR play down. He got to play the ball quickly. Came into the hands of Ellis. The shimmy of the hips, the taking it to the line. Off the shoulder, the runner doesn't even have to call you. There was no words, you can see there was no verbals there. Hit the gap at pace. Bradford just can't turn back and tackle because they're flat-footed, they're leaden-footed, they're dejected, they're out of energy, and it's been a masterclass from Team Sheams's men, I've got to say, of support play, and that's how rugby league should be played, because it's entertaining. We're in the entertainment business, and you can't defend against that once you're on the back of it. And they've had the backside slapped at Bradford. And by a far better side who know how to pass the ball faster, quicker. The support play has been unbelievable, and you can see why they're top of the league, Pete. And on a performance like this today from Hull Kingston Rovers, they would beat some of those bottom Super League teams. Whether they can keep on and do that in the eight, I don't know. But and they're not. When you take it to them, they actually drop off, and they haven't dominated. They haven't bullied. They've been a little bit dirty, and the referees let them get away with that. But they haven't dominated the Central Channel. But in the second half, the effort from the Bradford pack has been non-existent, and the three-quarters just cannot pass and run at the same speed as Hull Kingston Rovers have. And that's my analogy of the whole lot, and it's sad to say, but that's how it is.
Well, Obo summing up a little bit earlier there than
I
what I would ask him to, but you certainly tell. Now, what I am going to say is there'll be people listening to this, Mark, who will probably say that myself and your good self have been negative in this commentary.
You get it.
And,
you will.
And we'll probably get a bit of a slating for it.
Yeah.
However, when you sat here, and you can only call it as you see it, Mark.
Well, what do people want? Do they want sugar-coated, rose-tinted glasses, I love my son at all costs type commentary, or do you want proper rugby league football explained technically as it is? That's it. End of story, full stop. Well, I'm only going to commentate on the latter. I'm not going to do the former. It's not me. It's not what I'm about. But what I would say is, Pete, I would love the Bradford Bulls to be better. This is painful for me personally, is this, but it's what it is.
Well, I'm just going to give a quick shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Chris and Dawn Battle. Thanks for messaging me. I'm sorry it's not the result that you wanted, Dawn, and I certainly look forward to meeting up with you and Chris and chewing this one over at some point in the near future. Bradford ball in hand. The Provident scoreboard reads Bradford Bulls 10, OKR 42. A little chip kick there over the top. The referee there will speak to Nick Scruton.
Or shoulder charge.
Shoulder charge there.
Was it? Yeah.
Again.
I saw the leg go on the shoulder, Pete. I didn't know which went first, but
The referee doesn't do anything about it, gives a penalty to Bradford.
Pointless.
It wouldn't have made that much of a difference. 2 minutes left on the Provident clock.
But that's not the point, is it, Pete? You're right, he's referee. We talked about this, and he hasn't caused Bradford to lose this game. But that referee display today from the referee is not up to standard. It's not fit for purpose. It's not good enough.
James Davies then gets the ball to the 10-metre line. Bradford will want to finish with a try if they can. Corey Aston drops the shoulder, goes left, steps back onto the right. Bradford now sit 7 metres shy of the OKR try line. Reece Butterworth there feeds Sam Alice. Sam Alice is met by 4 tackles there of OKR. They certainly see him as a bit of a threat near that try line. What can Bradford do here? That's a loose pass from Reece Butterworth. James Davies knocks the ball forward. The ball will go. Yep, the ball went forward. The referee stops the play. The fans are leaving in their masses from this main stand. A sad sight to see on such a glorious day.
It is a sad sight to see, it is.
You know, before we started, Mark, we said that Bradford showed promise and showed guile towards the 10 minutes, the last 15, 10 minutes of the Halifax game. In glimpses here, Mark, we've seen touches. We've seen touches of brilliance and touches of individual class. But it's not individual class, Mark, that's going to win you the game. It's a team effort.
Of course it is. Individual class will never win you the game.
Justin Carney then sprints away up this main stand side. That is a fantastic tackle from Ed Chamberlain. Chamberlain rightly does deserve the applause that he's getting there. Salter takes the ball from 5 metres into the pitch with sit just over the 40-metre line, and OKR throwing the ball about with the greatest of ease. They're now seeing this as a bit of a training exercise. What can they do here? It's not touch and pass, Mark, but it's certainly looking that way to certain extents with some of the Bradford tackles.
Yeah, well, when you're not, I feel reluctant to almost comment on what I'm seeing, because it's there you go, weak tackling, I was about to say, but the hooter's gone.
OKR still ball in hand, play continues then. Justin Carney will take the ball, he drops the ball, that is it. OKR will finish victors 42 points to 10 against a Bradford team that have shown glimpses but unfortunately have come up far short.